Look at a gorilla or a chimpanzee. Now look at yourself in the mirror. An adult male gorilla can easily bench press 2,000 pounds. It does this without ever setting foot inside a gym. It never consumes a single gram of protein powder. A chimpanzee, half your size, can casually tear a car door off its hinges. It does this just because it gets slightly annoyed. Meanwhile, you can pull a muscle in your lower back. All it takes is reaching for a fallen TV remote, or sleeping on a pillow that was slightly too soft. From a purely physical survival standpoint, nature gave humans an exceptionally terrible deal. If you were dropped into the middle of a wilderness without clothing or tools, almost any medium-sized predator could destroy you in seconds. We have no sharp claws. We have no thick fur to protect us from the freezing cold. We have no protection against the burning summer sun. We have no razor-sharp fangs to tear through meat. Our bite force is embarrassing compared to a domestic dog. Even our running speed is a total joke in the animal kingdom. The average house cat can sprint at 30 miles per hour. An athletic human struggles to hit 20 miles per hour for a few short seconds. A lion can leap 20 feet through the air in a single bound. A human trips over a slightly uneven rug and breaks an ankle. A grizzly bear has hide so thick that small spears bounce right off it. Human skin gets severe sunburn after standing outside for 20 minutes. So how on earth did the weakest ape on the planet end up controlling the entire world? To understand this unbelievable victory, we have to look back millions of years. We must look at a massive trade-off made by our ancient ancestors. Evolution does not give you anything for free. Every single biological upgrade comes with a massive cost. Around 2 million years ago, our ancestors started trading raw muscle density for raw computing power. Human muscle fibers are built for precision rather than brute force. A monkey has a high percentage of fast-twitch muscle fibers designed for explosive strength. Humans have a higher ratio of slow-twitch fibers designed for endurance. This trade-off freed up massive amounts of metabolic energy. And where did all that saved energy go? It went straight to your brain. Your brain accounts for only 2% of your total body weight, yet it consumes 20% of your daily calories. It is the ultimate energy vampire. When food was scarce in the wild, keeping a giant brain alive was a massive risk. Your ancient ancestor was walking around with a supercomputer in their head. They were starving in a savanna surrounded by apex predators. That giant brain burns calories continuously. It burns energy. Even when you are sitting on the couch overthinking an awkward conversation from 5 years ago. Because our brains demanded so much energy, evolution had to make cuts elsewhere. It shaved off our thick, heavy muscles. It shrank our digestive tract. Meat and cooked food required less energy to digest than raw plants. It turned us into soft, squishy, naked apes. On paper, this was a terrible design choice. If a lion caught a human one-on-one, the fight was over before it even started. Yet despite all these physical disadvantages, humans possessed 3 secret weapons. These weapons broke the rules of nature entirely. Secret weapon number 1 was sweat. Most mammals cool down by panting. A cheetah can run at 70 miles per hour. It can only do so for a few hundred yards before its internal organs start to cook. Once a fur-covered predator overheats, it must stop. It must sit down in the shade and pant for 20 minutes to lower its core temperature. Humans, on the other hand, evolved millions of tiny sweat glands spread across naked skin. When we run, we release liquid water that evaporates. This cools down our bloodstream continuously. We are essentially walking water-cooled engines. This allowed ancient humans to invent a terrifying strategy known as persistence hunting. Our ancestors did not need to outrun a deer in a 10-second sprint. They just had to start jogging toward it. The deer would sprint away at top speed and disappear over the horizon. The humans would keep walking and jogging at a steady pace, tracking its footprints. 10 minutes later, the humans would show up again. The deer would panic sprint away a second time. 30 minutes later, the humans were still there, steady and relentless. After 2 or 3 hours under the blazing hot sun, the deer could no longer pant fast enough to cool down. Its body temperature would spike and its muscles would lock up. It would collapse from heat exhaustion. The physically weakest primate on Earth just defeated the fastest sprinter in the valley simply by taking a very long walk. Secret weapon number 2 was our unique upper body architecture. Humans are the only animals on the planet that can throw objects with high speed and deadly accuracy. A chimpanzee can throw a rock, but its shoulder structure only allows a weak, awkward toss. Human shoulders evolved like high-tension slingshots. We can store kinetic energy in our tendons and release a heavy stone or wooden spear at over 90 miles per hour. Suddenly, a human did not need to get close to a bear or a saber-toothed cat to deal damage. We could stand 50 paces away behind a rock and rain down sharp, deadly projectiles. Brute strength meant nothing when a weak human could put a sharp stone through your lung from a safe distance. No other predator had to deal with an opponent that could hurt them from across a river. Fang and claw meant nothing against kinetic missile strike technology. Secret weapon number 3 was language and social cooperation. A single human in the forest is prey. 10 humans working together with spears and fire are the undisputed lords of the wilderness. Our massive brains allowed us to communicate complex ideas, develop tactics, and share knowledge across generations. We did not need to wait millions of years for evolution to give us sharp claws. We simply picked up a rock, smashed it against another rock, and created a sharp edge in 5 seconds. We outsourced our biological evolution to external technology. When we discovered fire, we unlocked the ultimate evolutionary cheat code: cooking food pre-digested complex proteins and starches. This made calories instantly available to our energy-hungry brains. Fire kept wild beasts away at night. It gave us warmth in freezing climates and turned us into apex social creatures. We outsourced our defense to weapons, our heat regulation to fire, and our physical strength to teamwork. Over hundreds of thousands of years, we systematically outmaneuvered every giant beast on Earth. Mammoths, cave bears, and giant sloths all succumbed to weak naked apes holding sharp sticks and working as a team. But this rapid rise to the top came with bizarre architectural defects in our bodies. Because we evolved so fast, nature had to slap together makeshift solutions. Take bipedalism, for instance. Deciding to walk upright on 2 legs freed up our hands for tools. But our spine was originally designed as a horizontal suspension bridge. We took a horizontal bridge and tilted it vertically. Now gravity compresses your lower spinal discs every single day. That is why back pain is practically guaranteed for every human who lives long enough. Another terrible design flaw is our throat layout. We use the exact same pipe for eating food and breathing air. Most animals can swallow and breathe at the exact same time. Humans can choke to death while eating a dry cracker and laughing at a joke. It is an absurd design flaw that kills thousands of people every year. And let us not forget about wisdom teeth. As our brains got bigger, our jaws shrank to make room. But our DNA never got the memo to stop growing 32 teeth. So now 4 extra teeth erupt in your late teens and crush your entire mouths. You have to pay a surgeon thousands of dollars to rip them out. Fast forward to the modern world and the irony is unbelievable. Evolution spent millions of years optimizing us to jog 30 miles through hot grasslands and throw spears at mammoths. Now we sit in ergonomic chairs for 8 hours a day, staring at glowing glass rectangles. Our body software has not received a major update in 50,000 years. Your brain still thinks every sudden noise in the dark is a hungry saber-toothed cat. When your boss sends an email saying, "We need to talk," your brain panics. It triggers the exact same fight-or-flight response as meeting a lion in the wild. Your heart starts pounding fast. Your body floods your bloodstream with cortisol and adrenaline. Your digestive system shuts down to save energy for running away. Your body is fully prepared to sprint 2 miles or spear a predator to death. But you cannot spear your boss. You cannot run out of the building screaming into the woods. You just have to sit perfectly still in your swivel chair and type, "Okay, sounds good." All those stress hormones have nowhere to go. They sit inside your blood, destroying your blood vessels and giving you chronic anxiety. Our bodies evolved for relentless movement, yet our modern world rewards total physical stillness. We engineered a world of infinite calories and zero physical effort. In the wild, finding sugar or fat was super rare. When you found berries, your brain told you to eat every single one immediately. Today, you can drive past 3 fast food restaurants on your way home. Your ancient brain screams at you to buy 3 burgers and a giant soda. It thinks winter is coming and food will disappear tomorrow. But winter never comes, and the food never disappears. So we store fat constantly for a famine that will never arrive. We also evolved to care deeply about what our small tribe of 20 people thought of us. Being rejected by your tribe in ancient times meant literal death in the wild. If the tribe did not like you, you were cast out to freeze or get eaten. Now you open social media on your phone. You see thousands of strangers judging your appearance, lifestyle, and thoughts. Your ancient survival brain freaks out. It thinks you are about to be exiled from the tribe and die in the snow. That is why a negative comment from a stranger online can ruin your entire weekend. You are fighting ancient evolutionary programming in an environment it was never built for. That is why your lower back hurts right now. That is why you get anxious over imaginary scenarios before going to sleep. You are an apex endurance hunter trapped in an office cubicle. So the next time you feel weak because you cannot lift as much as a mountain gorilla, remember the truths. You do not need to fight a gorilla. Your ancestors already won that war thousands of years ago using sweat smarts and sharp sticks. We traded raw muscle for supreme intellect. We traded thick fur for fire and clothing. We traded razor-sharp claws for stone tools and weapons. We outsmarted every apex predator on Earth without ever needing 4-inch fangs. We built cities that reached the clouds. We sent human beings to walk on the moon. We created the internet so we could share funny cat videos across oceans in milliseconds. Sure, our spines are horribly designed for sitting in chairs. Sure, we choke on our own food when we laugh too hard. Sure, our wisdom teeth ruin our mouth alignment. And sure, an unread email can give us a panic attack. But we are still here. The naked ape with weak muscles and sweat glands conquered the globe. We rewrote the rules of biological survival on Earth. So go take a walk outside. Let your sweat glands do their job. Stretch your terrible spine. Throw a rock into a pond just because your shoulder evolved to do it better than any animal alive. And remember that while our backs might hurt from sitting too long, we are still the undisputed champions of planet Earth.